My name is Alex Snegerev, and some of you may or may not know me, but I grew up in the Russian Orthodox Church, or rather a branch of the Russian Orthodox Church, which is called Old Believers. Well, one of the things I wanted to focus on is the freedom that I have discovered in following Jesus in a real way, not just religion. You see, I grew up in religion. Religion was all I knew, and it was all about to do this and do that, don't do this and don't do that. It was all structure. It was all, you go to church. You don't go because you want to. You have to, and it was all about works based. That I go to church because this is something that is good for me. I'm gonna earn points with God. It was nothing that came from my heart. I didn't want to go to church. You would think that someone who grew up in the church would do well. If that's what I need, that discipline, and I just don't question, just do it, then I should turn out okay. Well, it wasn't that. My life started to get darker and darker, and I rebelled more and more, and I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol and just things, taking a wrong road, going down the wrong path. And because inside I had no peace. I grew up in religion. I grew up going to church every Sunday, but there was nothing there. I had no peace. I had no assurance of salvation. I didn't have anything, and all I had was church. All I had was religion. And so what happened was I started to ask questions, a lot of questions. And because I was taught to believe that all the other churches are wrong, the American church is wrong, don't have anything to do with them, their Bible is all wrong, and we're the only ones, and so it's very ingrown, very in-focused, and I started to rebel against that. I wasn't believing it anymore, and so what I did is I went and bought myself an English Bible, which is forbidden, and I started reading, and I was amazed what I found in there. I started reading the Gospels, and I'm reading what Jesus said, and as I'm reading and getting to know God for the first time, I'm realizing at the same time how wretched I am, how messed up I am. And so it came to this point where I had to ask the question, is God good? And if he's good, then he must have made a way for me to know him. And so that's what led me to the Bible. I started reading, and then I started to see all of these things that were not taught to me. And I realized that I needed Jesus, that I was hopeless without him. And I gave my life to Christ. And something happened. Something happened where there was this weight that I was carrying, it was lifted. And all of a sudden I saw the world with new eyes, and everything made sense. And it wasn't just do this and do that. It wasn't blind obedience, but it became, I wanted to obey from my heart because what Jesus did for me in that moment, he changed everything about me. It's hard to describe, but that's what he did. He changed my life. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, in my experience in the Russian church, what it did was it caused me to be a slave to religion, to things that I didn't understand, and I just did, and I didn't question. In fact, I was told not to question. And it didn't bring any peace. It didn't make me a better person. What it did was it made me a legalist. It made me a hypocrite. It caused me to look at others and judge them and not be able to see myself. And so when I finally came to my senses and I realized how messed up I was, and I gave my life to Christ, it's like that weight was lifted, and there was this freedom. Think of the imagery of a slave and how he's set free, and his chains are broken, and he's able to go free. It's how I felt. And so that's what putting my faith in Christ did for me. That it really did set me free.